days to come to an end.
We don't want the good days to end, and somehow I think we should go to Thanksgiving. If we make a motion to that effect, will the good Lord listen?
He might.
I mean, we're a powerful and important council, but I'm not sure if we can get away with that one. Well, don't know if you don't try, right? Okay. Well, let's call the meeting to order. The first thing, obviously, as you have before you, council, is the agenda for the meeting today of September 4th. Are there any items to be added to this agenda that have not been there now? You have a number, which are going to be items added to the community service agenda when your committee is called? All right. Well, we can now. Might as well do it there under the committee reports. Any other items to be added to the agenda? If not, I'll entertain a motion to accept it as presented. Moved by Councillor Ledwell, seconded by Councillor Walsh. Any questions or comments on that? All in favor? Contrary-minded? Motion is carried. First item on the agenda, then, Council, the minutes of the meeting of August 21st. I'm going to accept a motion to have them accepted as presented. Moved by Councillor Stahl, seconded by Councillor Tessier. Are there any errors or omissions? Errors or omissions from the meeting of August the 4th? Hearing none, I'll call it. All those in favor? Contrary-minded? Motion carried. Business arising. August 1st. Business arising. Going once. We still miss Paul, I think. Going once, twice. Hearing no business arising, we will then move on. The next item, Council, will be proclamations and presentations. And today I'm delighted to say that we have three proclamations that we're going to sign into the record books today. I'm going to read them, and then I'm going to invite some people to come up and speak to us and talk to them about it. This first one is close to my heart, as you can appreciate. This is the Association for the Arts in Mount Pearl. We have Chairperson Christine Henneberry with us today. Hello, Christine. We're going to invite you, after I read this proclamation, to come up and address it and say a few words to Council about it. Whereas creativity and artistic expression can be a part of every life, whether as an artist, an audience member, or fan, and whereas everyone has the right to explore their creativity to the fullest in whatever capacity they choose, whereas participation in the arts is known to increase happiness, relaxation, and life satisfaction, and whereas the citizens of Mount Pearl are becoming increasingly engaged in the arts and in the activities of the Association for the Arts in Mount Pearl, whereas it is widely recognized that investment in arts increases the appeal and the economic viability of a community. Therefore, be it resolved that I, Randy Sims, Mayor of the City of Mount Pearl, do hereby proclaim the week of September 15th to 22nd to be Arts Week in the City of Mount Pearl. I encourage all citizens to use this week to find ways to participate in the arts and to enhance their creativity. And with that, I will sign the proclamation into the record books. And Christine, I'm going to invite you to come up here, if you would, and use this little handheld microphone for the purposes of the webcast, and talk a little bit about the week of September 22nd and what your organization has planned.
Oh, I don't know if you have time for me to list everything, so I'm just going to speak sort of generally about it. Thank you, Mayor Sims and councillors and staff, for the opportunity to speak to the Arts Week 2012 proclamation. AMP's mission, as you know, is twofold. It's to support artists who want to work in and promote their work in our city, and to provide opportunities for citizens to enjoy the arts and their own creativity. Arts Week gives plenty of opportunities for both. We start with the Art Fusion Festival, which this year is at Kenmount Park Community Centre, and it highlights performers and artists of all kinds, everything from flamenco dancers to photographers. Then we have events and workshops all week for all ages that allow artists to work directly with the general public and allow the general public to participate in creative activities as spectators or full-on participants. So whether someone wants to come take a free writing class, learn to do some belly dancing, whether they want to come and hear the youth open mic, whether they want to come and participate in a murder mystery and solve a mystery, there's all sorts of things for them to do. Arts Week 2012 is September 15th to 22nd, and I hope to see more people there than ever come out to give their creativity a spin. We're here to help you do that at any time, actually. You can get more information at www.aamp.ca. Don't go to .com, that's the American Association of Meat Packers. I'm sure they're lovely people, but they can't help you with a murder mystery. Or I hope they can't help you with a murder mystery. Anyhow, and you will all receive full schedules in your inboxes, so watch for them, and I'll be happy to see your smiling faces at all of our events, every single one. You can
Yes,
take
okay.
time off in the day for that, right?
Right, we can do that. Every
Right.
single one.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Christine, very much. The Association for the Arts continuing to grow and be a tremendous success, and an organization that I think I speak on for all of council. We are all very, very proud of. And you're doing wonderful work, you and your committee, and it continues to do better all the time. We're looking forward to seeing a massive expansion in arts influence and arts activities in our city in the coming years. It's not just a hope and a wish, it's a plan. And I want you to know that council has your back on all of this stuff. We really appreciate the work you're doing. Here's a copy of the proclamation. We apparently have to get our snap taken. So we'll hold it up. Let's do it like that.
Okay.
There you go.
Oh, hang on.
And he's an accountant, so you know the heads are cut off on this one. Thank you, Christine, very
Thank
much.
you.
Thank you. Council, any comments at all? Anybody participating in a murder mystery?
Your Worship.
Mayor Ledwell? Mayor Ledwell? Well, there's
Wow.
that could be a prediction. There could be a harbinger of things to come.
Absolutely.
Councillor
I should sit down with
Ledwell.
the Premier if I stand up again the next time.
I'm
Thank you.
not sure Kathy will give up her seat as easy as I would. for
Maybe
you.
not. Maybe not.
Anyway, Councillor, go ahead.
Thank you, Worship. I just wanted to congratulate the Association for the Arts for all the great work that they do. Of course, they've been doing what they do for a long time. This is going to be their 8th Art Fusion Festival and their 3rd full-on Arts Week. So they've been doing what they do for a long time, and I know Christine and her team have been very dedicated to exposing all of our citizens to arts and letting people explore their creative options. I think they do great work, and they're certainly to be congratulated for it. And of course, they do great work, all throughout the year, not just during Arts Week. I mean, members of council, I think, saw the Tempting Providence play that they put off during the summertime. Just finished the very successful Arts in the Park series they do every summer. They're involved with the Frosty Festival and City Days. The list goes on. So I think, a hearty congratulations is due to the Association for the Arts, and certainly, a pledge from council that we will continue to support them is certainly in order.
Thank you, sir, very much. Any other comment? Okay, I think you summed it all up there, Councillor Ledwell.
Thank you, Your Worship.
We are going to our second proclamation today, Council, is the Shine-A-Rama proclamation. I think most of us would be familiar with Shine Day. It is happening on September 7th this year. With us today, we have Ashley Hunt. Wave at us, Ashley, down there. We're going to invite you to come up as well, Ashley, and have a little chat with us about your plans as coordinator for Shine-A-Rama. We're going to read the proclamation into the record. It goes, whereas Cystic Fibrosis Canada is a Canada-wide health charity with more than 50 volunteer chapters whose mission is to raise monies to fund cystic fibrosis research and care. And whereas Cystic Fibrosis Canada is a world leader in the fight against CF, the gene responsible for CF was identified in 1989 by a Canadian-led team of researchers supported by the Foundation. Canadian investigators continue to play a leading role in the worldwide race to find a cure or control for the disease. Whereas for 48 years, Shine-A-Rama students from across Canada have been raising money and awareness in the fight against CF, Memorial University will be holding a Shine-A-Rama campaign in the month of September. And whereas join the fight against the most common fatal inherited disease affecting young Canadians by supporting Memorial University Shine Day on September 7th at different locations throughout the city. Therefore, I, Randy Sims, Mayor of the City of Mount Pearl, hereby proclaim September the 7th as Shine Day and encourage all residents to support the fight against the devastating disease of CF by participating in Memorial University's Shine Day. And with that, I will affix a signature. And Ashley, if you would, I'm going to ask you to come forward here and follow Christine's example and tell us a little bit about your plans for Shine Day, September 7th, 2012.
Thank you, Mayor Sims, councillors, for allowing me to come here to speak to you guys today. Friday is our annual Shine Day. Myself and 3 other committee members, we usually have 6 committee members. This year we only have 3, and we've already raised $10,000 over the summer for cystic fibrosis. We aim to raise $30,000 this year. We ended up raising $27,000 last year, which in the last 5 years we have been raising more than we've ever raised in the more university campuses, and mostly in the nursing schools because that's where I'm from and that's where all the committee members are from. So Shinorama, since 1964 when it was founded, there was only 8 universities and colleges involved, and the life expectancy for people with cystic fibrosis was 4 years of age. Now it's 47. So we've come a long way, and the work that we're doing is actually making a difference. So that's why we continue to do what we do. So on Shine Day, we will be out in the cities of Mount Pearl and St. John's at various locations, including Walmart, Canadian Tire, Sobeys, Irving, and just walking down the streets. So if you see, probably 400 volunteers, that's what we usually get. So if you see someone in a shirt with a collection box, you guys might actually be able to get your shoes signed because normally nobody wears shoes, so we don't get to shine many shoes. But that would probably work for you guys. So, and make a donation to us, please. Thanks.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Ashley, very much. We're going to do that too again. Okay, we'll do that again. Okay, let's hold it up here like this. That's Friday. Friday there will be a shine. Thank you, Ashley, very much, and good luck with the campaign. We trust that you will reach your goal. In fact, I'm pretty sure you will. The third proclamation that we have today is in reference to Sexual Violence Awareness Week. This is an annual campaign. We do not have a speaker here today. The proclamation reads, whereas the Newfoundland and Labrador Sexual Assault Crisis and Prevention Center works to provide response information and education to the province of Newfoundland and Labrador in the area of sexual violence. And whereas the organization is now commemorating the 13th anniversary of Sexual Violence Awareness Week, as well as the 28th anniversary of the Take Back the Night March, to further the common goal of eliminating sexual violence. And whereas the theme for Sexual Violence Awareness Week 2012 is Breaking Free, which recognizes the urgent need to end sexual violence and the process of moving away from its contributing factors so that we may have safe, healthy communities. And whereas sexual assault is a crime that can affect anyone regardless of factors like age, gender, ability, socioeconomic status, cultural background, or other variables. And whereas the rate of sexual assault in Newfoundland and Labrador continues to be higher than the national average, which is disturbing. And whereas this municipal government recognizes the need for people of our province to live in safe and caring communities where violence is unacceptable and support efforts that raise awareness and educate the public. Therefore be it resolved that I, Randy Sims, Mayor of the City of Mount Pearl, do hereby proclaim September 17th to 21st a Sexual Violence Awareness Week, and I encourage all citizens to become involved in activities organized throughout this week. I will affix my signature. We will get the proclamation into the hands of the organization, and unfortunately we do not have someone joining us today to actually address all the activities they plan for the week, but of course obviously the Take Back the Night March is the most significant and largest one, which will be happening that week as well. Comments from anyone on anything? We're moving on. Our first committee report today is going to be our Community Services Committee. Councillor Tessier, the floor is yours.
Just back to the Sexual Violence Awareness Week.
Oh, you did have something to say.
Yeah, I did.
Apologize.
Just something
Go
very,
ahead.
very brief. I just think it's a shame when we have proclamations about cystic fibrosis awareness, cancer awareness, heart disease, brain injury. Those are all extremely important causes, and of course we'll continue to support them. Sexual violence, unfortunately, is something that can be prevented. I think it's just an absolute shame that we still have to highlight it as such an epidemic problem, especially in our province. Mm-hmm. It's disturbing to see that the numbers are higher here in Newfoundland and Labrador than they are in the rest of Canada. And I look forward to the day when we actually don't have to bring awareness to it because the issue
is dead. It's non-existent. That's the dream and the goal, no doubt.
Yeah, very disappointing. All right, first item on our agenda, the Arena Board of Management has requested their final installment of their operating grant for 2012 in the amount of $28,200. This, of course, is the last of 3 installments, and we are recommending approval to release that amount to them, and I so move.
It is moved, seconded by Deputy Mayor Locke. Questions? Comments? All in favor? Contrary-minded? Motion carried.
Everybody, on your desk, you have our fall activity guide. Really sharp-looking document here this year.
Gotta
Again,
say, hey?
as always. Of course, it's being distributed to all households in Mount Pearl within the next couple of weeks. It's got everything in there from programs, community events, registration, hours of operation for some of our facilities. There's something there for every age category in our city. The map, the pictures are fabulous. One thing that I did notice that stuck out was a little section there, a little ad there on the skate and ride park, which is a new addition, of course, and we're really thrilled about that because that's a really busy area for our city. And, of course, the multiplex project is on the inside back cover as well. So, again, we want to thank the Community Services Department and the Communications Marketing Officer for doing such a great job with this document. It is such an impressive piece that when it comes into your mailbox, you can't help but sit down and go through it. And I'm sure many people, as I did when they went through it, were so impressed by what is happening within our city. So I just wanted to bring that to the attention of council and to the public as well. And also,
Wonderful. It is a really good job this year, isn't it? My God.
It's a beautiful
Looks
document.
Beautiful.
Yeah, it's absolutely wonderful. No, and I mean, the fact that it's there and there's so much, it demonstrates the pride that we have in our community and all the things that are happening. There really, truly is something for everybody happening in Mount Pearl all the time.
Amen to that.
The third item on our agenda is just to let everybody know that the Munn Seahawks were in Mount Pearl during the week of August 27th, running a volleyball camp at Mount Pearl Intermediate, I believe, and they also utilized our beach volleyball court. Now, that's the second time this year that there's been an organized tournament of sorts at our beach volleyball court this summer. So we wanted to bring that to everybody's attention, and we want to thank the Munn Seahawks for coming into Mount Pearl, as they are welcome to do anytime, of course. But we just wanted to highlight that the beach volleyball court particularly is being utilized again. It's wonderful. It was a great day at the beach in Mount Pearl. We have a couple of things outside of the kit, and I apologize that everybody doesn't have copies. We've had a very busy weekend with soccer. We want to highlight some of the winnings that we can celebrate. Congratulations to the Mount Pearl Girls Under 14A team on winning the provincial championship with a 3-0 win over St. John's. I'm sorry.
You're not allowed to gloat.
It's a win. It's wonderful. The girls will travel to Vaughan, Ontario early in October for the Nationals, so they're going to be representing the province at the National Tournament in Ontario. We want to congratulate the boys Under 14 team for winning the provincial championship. They also will travel to Vaughan, Ontario in October for the Nationals. One of my neighbors, Jonathan Joyce, is on that team actually, and I know the dedication that they put into it. They were outside biking one night, and he had to go back in and get some rest because he had the tournament coming up that weekend. It was very serious. It was a big deal. There is soccer in his blood, I'll tell you that. So I must say, like, they work really hard. I mean, we hear under 14 and you wonder, well, what's the level of skill? It's extremely high. These kids work really hard, and they play very impressive games.
So both the boys and the girls are winners.
Boys and girls are winners.
Okay, so we can gloat.
We want to congratulate the Mount Pearl Under 16. Mount Pearl edged St. John's 1-0 in a title contest that required penalty shots to decide. They will travel to Charlottetown in October for nationals as well. Big deal
Lord.
for soccer in Mount Pearl.
We're better than St. Lawrence.
She knows that.
That'll get you a racket.
She knows that.
That'll get you a racket if you're looking for a racket. That'll get you one. Come on, yeah.
I did not say that. However, it'll be
You
interesting.
giggled.
Well, I didn't giggle. I'm just very pleased. I'm very pleased at how accomplished our soccer players are, and it does indicate the level, the skill level that we have right now at these ages. That's only going to get better as they get older.
Absolutely.
So this is definitely something to watch for us for the future.
Amen.
And while we are on the theme of soccer, we want to extend congratulations to Dave LeGros. He is going to be inducted into the Newfoundland and Labrador Soccer Hall of Fame. The official ceremony is being held on November 17th in St. John's. He has been an executive workhorse, and those are the words that are here, and I'll tell you, that's absolutely true, because he's just tireless. He's been a workhorse for both the Mount Pearl and provincial soccer associations for more than 20 years. On the provincial scene, he has served as treasurer for 4 years and secretary for 2 terms, a position that he still holds right now. I want to read out some more of his credentials as well, because it's so important to recognize why accomplishments like this are so very well deserved. So in addition to his executive roles, he's taken lead roles with a number of key committees within the board. Regionally, he has served as treasurer and secretary for the Mount Pearl Soccer Association and served or chaired numerous key committees. For his efforts, he has been twice named Executive of the Year by both Mount Pearl and the Newfoundland and Labrador Soccer Associations, and has received the Mount Pearl Sport Alliance Executive of the Year. In 2012, he was inducted into the Mount Pearl Soccer Hall of Fame as well. So we want to congratulate Dave on his accomplishments and on this induction, and of course we want to thank him for his dedicated, tireless service to soccer in Mount Pearl. 20 years is a very long time to be volunteering your efforts with an organization, and
Amazing.
he has done yeoman
Amazing.
service. And finally, I know that we all saw some emails today, and I know that we've all had verbal compliments as well, but we wanted to highlight the compliments that we're getting on our planters and concrete flower pots throughout the city and how much they add to our city. This year particularly, I guess it's the weather or something, but they're just overflowing in those concrete pots. They look absolutely stellar, and even now, still, my pots are all dead. I don't know how they're keeping those alive because they just look so
Oh, we didn't
good.
tell you, they're all plastic.
Oh.
They'll all look
plastic.
that good. They'll all look that good in January.
Yes, but
We're teasing.
Yeah, that's right. But we also, we've all received comments, and of course we wanted to extend to the staff and certainly to, it's Russell's, yes, who have the contract. Yes, Russell's. Sorry? Stanley's? Stanley's. So we want to extend thank you and congratulations to them as well. And who knows? The weather, I think the weather has a lot to do with it this year. It's been so lovely. So we want to thank the residents for not only taking notice and appreciating what it does for our city, but for taking the time to tell us. And we want
You
to
know,
thank the staff.
it always bothers me,
That
Councillor,
takes
when
care
we
of
highlight that stuff, because to my knowledge, knock on some wood, I don't think we've had one of them damaged. I don't think there's been nothing done, nothing. They've
Well, you
looked
know what?
beautiful, so. Knock on wood.
But you know the expression, right? You can't have nothing. You can't have anything good. But they really do look wonderful, and they have been untouched. And I think the people
I
really
think
appreciate their
community
beauty.
really appreciates it, and I'm
Yeah.
surprised at how many people speak of it, but to be getting actual emails about it is,
Absolutely.
people actually taking the time to send you a note to say, hey, they look great, makes you feel good.
Well, the thing is, we are we approved this, some time ago to have planters in the islands instead of just the shrubbery and greenery that was there. And even for us, I'm sure I speak for everybody, when you drive by, you can't help but notice how great they look.
True enough.
All
Thank
right,
you.
That's it, sir.
Community services done, corporate services, Deputy Mayor
I
Locke.
think it's the colors of the flowers that are so.
Well, they wouldn't be the same if they were black and white, I suppose. No?
Well, but not just the colors, but the different colors, the different planters that
Yeah.
they have around, and
It looks great. It's obviously still
I
summer.
appreciate Councillor Walls because I'm back to school now and I should be ready for those birds, right? I should be ready for those, so I appreciate that. Yeah, but it wasn't just
That's got to be teacher humor, yeah.
Yeah. The planters, indeed. But it's funny. I came in this morning at school, and a teacher from St. John's commented that she drove through the city several times through the summer, and it wasn't just the planters or the bowls that we have out. It was the whole city, she said, and she asked that I pass on compliments to our city staff. She said it is the landscaping. It's so meticulous. The colors, the plantings. It was beautiful. So she asked if I would at today's council meeting do that, so I'm doing that. So please extend it to our staff. It does look great. But again, another green thumb on our staff. He said this year, the weather. He said I've had stuff grow in my garden that I haven't seen ever before. Mm-hmm. So the weather is obviously doing something for it. We all know how nice the berries are at this time of year, right? The blueberries. Anyways,
Based on the latest RNC report, by the way, the marijuana crop is booming.
well, they could see it from the Hubble Space Station.
I just heard it on the news driving into the
That's
council
right.
meeting that they just broke up some big grow op or something.
And
but
used
apparently
helicopters.
The marijuana crop this summer in Newfoundland is booming.
That'll be
Who
next year's
knew?
crowd. Sales
knew?
are going to boom next year on the city streets, right? We shouldn't be joking.
Don't need hydroponics.
They don't
shouldn't be
need the
joking about
hydroponic. Let's get to the committee report,
Sorry.
please.
The first one here, Your Worship, is a request from our Chief Administrative Officer to attend the MNL convention being held in Gander this year, October 4th to 6th. And that, of course, complies with our professional development. So I so move.
It is moved, seconded by Councillor Aker. All in favor? Contrary minded, motion carried.
The next one has to do with the Municipal Assessment Agency, some changes to the assessment appeals. For residential appeals now, the resident is going to be required to pay the appeal fee of $25 up front. Previously, they didn't have to pay until the appeal fee, pay the appeal fee until they actually reach the hearing process, so they'll have to pay that up front. And for commercial appeals, there's been an increase from $25 to $100. And again, it says here, as you can read, that they're managed the costs associated with the formal appeal process. They're hoping to try to curb the number of appeals that go through the system here. They're also going to bring in a no-fee alternative for property owners who have concerns about their assessment. This option allows the property owner to request a file review of their assessment at any time without charge by calling their office. Just to note that there's going to be an insert in the 2013 assessment notice advisory that property owners will receive, and these will highlight the changes and, of course, the no-fee alternative. And that's just for an information, Your Worship. And my last item are the invoices for council approval. You can see we have 16 there, and they total $993,071.37. And I move that these amounts be accepted as presented.
Moved, seconded by Councillor Aker. Any questions or comments, inquiry of any kind, items 1 through to 16?
Just a comment, number 13 does indicate Stanley Flowers, the flower pot maintenance.
Indeed.
So
It does.
it is indeed Stanley's.
It is Stanley's, yeah. And
I guess we should send a bouquet out to Stanley's Flowers then, for a job well done. Sorry, that's my
I see the
piece of humor,
Progate
just-
Recreation Complex is now officially costing big money,
Indeed.
$737,000 on a progress payment. Wow. All right, and it totals $993,071.37. I'll call the question. All those in favor? Contrary-minded, motion is carried. That's how easy you can spend $1 million.
There you go. That's it for me, Your Worship. Thank you.
Thank you so much. We are going to engineering. Councillor Ledwell.
Thank you, Your Worship. Just one item on our agenda this evening has to do with the results of the tender call for the 2011 street upgrading, the third phase of the project there. There are 2 bids that you see there in your kit that were received from Wares Construction and Modern Paving. It was noted that all the bid documents are in order, and one other point to note is that both bids came in under the pre-tender estimate for the project, so both bids are looking pretty good. The information has been forwarded to the Department of Municipal Affairs, and the committee recommends that the project be awarded to Wares Construction for their bid amount of $1,275,190.20, and I so move.
It is moved and seconded. All those in favor? Contrary-minded, motion carried. And that's everything? Thank you, sir. Planning and Land Use Development Committee. Councillor Aker.
Yes, thank you, Your Worship. 3 or 4 items here today. First one is a request for an increased fence height at 15 Court Real Place. And one of our inspectors did a review and found that a portion of the fence that's along the side yard near the patio is above the 6-foot maximum that the city allows. We looked at it in committee for consideration whether council should use its discretion to increase the maximum height. And for this little section, we think it would be quite reasonable to do so. The additional height is providing privacy not only for the people when they're up on their patio, which is kind of high up, but really also for people who are down below on the adjoining neighbor side. So it's not obtrusive, my lord, what a word, from either property sight line. And it's been professionally done with a quality finish, and we're recommending that council approve this variance, I guess, or increase in the height, only for the section that's built, not for the rest of the fence. And I so move.
Moved by Councillor Akers, seconded by Councillor Ledwell. Question or comment?
I have a question.
Councillor Tessier.
How was this brought to our attention? Was it brought to our attention via a complaint, or was it brought because it's done? That's my understanding, is that it's completed.
Yes, was a complaint.
Yeah, it was a complaint.
I understand there was a complaint, and one of our inspectors went up to have a look at the situation. And as we do, basically, in any situation like that, we'll look at it on the face of it. And we won't necessarily punish the homeowner for initially perhaps breaking our regulations. We looked at it and we thought it was quite reasonable. We actually think the privacy works both ways for both the neighbor on the neighbor who has the patio and owns the fence, as well as for the neighbor on the other side.
Yeah, more than anything, we see compliance. Our effort and all of this kind of stuff. So this will work out okay for everybody, I think.
Yeah.
Call it. All those in favor? Contrary-minded, motion carried.
The next item, Your Worship, is a land consolidation of 2 lots at 1218 to 1226 Topsail Road. The proponent is Henneberry Engineering on behalf of Automotive Supplies. I believe these 2 lots are currently vacant. They are just to the east of Crday Manor on Topsail Road. It's proposed to build a commercial building of approximately, I think it's 830 square meters Automotive Supplies will be a tenant or one of the occupants of that building, with further occupants to be placed later on. And basically, we're bringing this forward to council today just so that we can officially consolidate the two lots, I guess, for administrative purposes, and I so move.
Moved, seconded. Question or comment? This is going to be a fairly big business happening
is.
there.
Yep.
All those in favor? Contrary-minded, motion carried.
Now, the next item, just scrolling along here, we have 115 Commonwealth Avenue. This part of Mount Pearl is in the commercial general use zone, but most of the lots in this particular area are occupied by non-conforming uses. Essentially, this was a residential part of the city many years ago, but and I think it was at the request of most of the residents, the zoning was changed to general commercial. The city's policy on this, as part of this zoning change, is to provide for and encourage building lots to be consolidated for the purposes of basically taking the houses down and replacing them with commercial businesses. In the meantime, anybody who owns a house there, that non-conforming use is fine to stay. What the proponent is proposing here is that you take the existing single-family dwelling down and build a semi-detached house, which is much larger in scale. This is contrary not only to our policy of trying to encourage the commercial development of the particular piece of land, but also is contrary to the Urban Rural Planning Act, which requires, for consistency purposes, that if you do have a non-conforming use, that use should not be expanded. And basically, by taking out the existing dwelling and building a larger dwelling, you're extending that non-conforming use. It's a very nice proposal, I got to say, but it's really not a good fit given the current zoning that's in that particular part of Commonwealth Avenue. Who knows what may happen down the road, because we haven't seen a lot of commercial development in that area, but I think we have to be consistent with some of the decisions the council has made over the years with regards to this particular property, or not property, this particular part of town, and I'm recommending we refuse the application, and I so move.
Moved, seconded. Question or comment? Hearing none, all in favor? Contrary-minded, motion carried.
Next to last, Your Worship, the development permit list for August 20th, 31st. There's permits numbers 52, 53, and 54, and I so move.
Moved, seconded. All in favor? Contrary-minded, motion carried.
Residential building permits for the same period are $2,190,000, and I so move.
All in favor? Contrary-minded, carried.
And we have 33,000 in commercial building permits for the same period, and I so move.
Moved, seconded. All in favor? Contrary-minded,
That's
carried.
it, Your Worship. Thank you.
That's everything. That concludes all committee reports, I believe. We're up to new business. Where did I start last week? Anybody remember? I started over there on that side. Councillor Ledwell, new business.
Thank you, Your Worship. Just one quick thing, of course, school is starting up this week, tomorrow, I guess, for the students, and I just want to wish all the students and teachers well as they head back to class, and of course, remind residents that the time's now to be conscious of safety as well, especially around our schools. We have kids going to be crossing busy streets and moving to and from school. So just an eye out for motorists to keep a watch for the kids as they cross the roads on the way to school, and best wishes for a successful year.
Thank you. Councillor Walsh.
Thank you very much, Your Worship. You're never too old to learn, and I'm learning from Councillor Tessier today. For years, when I was chair of Community Services, Councillor Aker in particular was stealing all my other business, new business. So Councillor Tessier has now gotten into the habit for the last several meetings of doing the other business related to community services as part of a report. Good for you. That's a way to make sure. That's the way to make sure that other people do it, including me. I was stealing some of it as well. And Councillor Ledwell was getting it. She said, "Oh, I know what she's doing." She said, "Okay, no more of that. I'm going to do it as part of my report," and that's the way to do it. Good on you. So we're all going to learn.
We're a council of merry thieves.
We're all going to learn. I just want to mention to our director, Mr. Randall, that the ready-to-roll signs look fabulous. They really look good. The whole project in terms of this automated garbage system and the delivery of carts, it's really been rolled out in a very, I think, planned and systematic way. And I think the gateway signs are just one of a number of critical, ways of communicating the messages to our residents. They really look sharp. And I was delighted that they're up and in place in many of the gateways prior to the long weekend because, with so much traffic on the road, even more than would typically be coming through, they look good. And, of course, it's a great opportunity to get the message out. I also, I can do it now legitimately, add on, can't I?
You can.
But I also wanted to add to the kudos to Mr. LeGros. I mean, obviously, I saw it in the paper myself, and he's really been a tremendous, but very low-key guy as well. He's not a person who really wants a lot of limelight or acknowledgement, or he's not needy in that way at all. But he does an incredibly good job, and I was delighted that the chair acknowledged his contributions to soccer, not just in Mount Pearl, but obviously on the provincial scene, because it is the Newfoundland Labrador Soccer Association that's acknowledging him by inducting him, rightfully so, into the Hall of Fame. I missed last Friday's retirement due for Judy Guy.
As did I.
I just wanted to acknowledge Judy's service. She has been around a long time and has made an incredible contribution as the caretaker of everything that swims or is in water in Mount Pearl.
Yeah.
She really does a tremendous
34
job.
years, I think.
I remember even when my own children, and they're young adults now, they were all, of course, tended to, and that facility was extremely well cared for and administered under Judy's leadership. And I just wanted to extend congratulations to her. And I was really sorry. I was hoping I was going to be able to be back in town to be here for that. I think it was 3 o'clock on a Friday afternoon, and I wasn't able to get back. But I wanted to take the opportunity to acknowledge her now and congratulate her as well. Thanks very much.
Thank you. Councillor Stoyles.
Thank you, Your Worship. I too headed down to wish Judy all the best, and I attended her retirement party, and it was certainly a pleasure to be there. We've had a number of people retire this year, and it seems, there's, I guess, a time in our life that people have worked for us for 30 and 35 and 40 years, so it's great to see that they stayed with us for such a long time, and especially to Judy and to her family. All the best. A couple of other things, Your Worship, I want to mention. The Save Our People Action Committee announced a toll-free number last week, and I want to announce it today because a lot of the towns and communities around the province will be taking our cards to distribute and leave at City Hall. So I will be bringing some down here for the front entrance as well. And of course, the number is 1-855-896-MOOSE. That's 896-6673, and of course it's a toll-free number for anybody in the province. And all the RCMP and the truckers, and like I said, the municipalities will be taking these cards. And the other thing I want to mention that I've received several complaints about, and I'm assuming that our staff through municipal enforcement have already dealt with it, but I was told that there was a homeless person in the woods and had a tent and been living there for several weeks in the Dalton area behind the homes on Dalton Avenue in the Parkway.
I've not heard it.
And apparently our municipal police and the RCMP, the RNC had been down and removed, and there was needles and whatnot in the parks. I spoke to several neighbours down on Dalton Avenue who had major concerns about it, and I sent off a couple of emails as well. And I understood that it was all looked after and all dealt with, but I just said I would mention it here today. And so when our park patrol and our municipal enforcement are out, they look deeper into the woods and look for those kinds of activities where people camping and things like that down there. And I like I said, I don't know if anybody is aware of it here in the staff or that, but I said I would mention it, so it is recorded today. And that's it for me, Your Worship.
Thank you very much, Deputy Mayor.
I just wanted to speak to what Councillor Wall said about the rollout garbage bins, and of course the report of the injury to the worker in St. John's last week on some sharp glass just speaks to the move that we're making. And I also on Sunday past spoke to a resident about it, and they were delighted with the initiative. And again, they also highlighted the safety aspect for our workers. So again, I picked up on your point about a very well rolled out plan. So given that they are on wheels, so I just wanted to throw that out there. Yes, teacher humor. Right. Just one item, Your Worship. I had the pleasure last week to meet with a group of university students from the geography department here at City Hall. It was a part of their studies where they do a field course. So they requested to come to the city, and I just wanted to pass on the high remarks they had and the compliments they had for the city, because they were sort of doing the Avalon region in their studies over an 8-day period, and they were very complimentary with respect to how well planned our city was, because as geography students they're knowledgeable of zoning and community planning and stuff like that. So they were very complimentary to again, our open spaces and the emphasis that we put on open spaces, our walking trails, our active lifestyle here, and I just wanted to pass it on to our staff again on that people are recognizing the great work that's being done here in the city. And again, we got it from the university students. So, and of course, I was proud to highlight, I received my new textbook today that has the section in it with the city of Mount Pearl,
yes,
highlighting
that's right, yeah.
the zoning of the land use map in Mount Pearl. So I just wanted to take the opportunity to pass it on to our staff. And please, Julie, if you would pass it on to your colleagues in the planning department. That's it for me, Your Worship. Thank you.
Thank you. Councillor Tessier.
Very briefly, want to touch on Judy's retirement as well. I was down there at her retirement party as well, and it was interesting to see the people that came through. Lifeguards that are no longer with the city that were around, 15 years ago when my children were small, came back to see her. Some of our staff up at Public Works, who also used to be lifeguards at the pool, were there, and Joan O'Keefe was there. She's the first person who ever swam in our pool in Mount Pearl, came up to bid Judy farewell, and kept wondering what we were going to do without her. So, of course, quite frankly, we could ask ourselves the same question sometimes, because she is very much a part of Mount Pearl and very much a part of our community. I asked her how many children she thinks she's seen grow up, and she said something about the number of lifeguards that she's gone through. I can't remember how many it's been, but she said, I reared, say it's 55 youngsters, and seen thousands and thousands more, but she said she doesn't recognize a lot of them when they're dry and dressed, because they're usually with their swim caps and trunks on. Yeah, but anyway, it was a wonderful event, and I must say she received a lot of support from the city, but again, after 30-odd years of service with the city, I mean, it was just well-deserved and more, so I just want to wish her well in her retirement as well.
Perfect. Thank you. Councillor Aker.
Well, I too want to finish on a soccer note, but that's just the time of the year.
Don't be scared.
I'm not scared, no, and you're not going to like the news I have. But I do want to talk about Dave LeGros, who I consider a friend. And Dave has put a lot of time and a lot of years into soccer here in Mount Pearl. I served with Dave on both tournament committees, executives, and he's always been there at some level or another. Quite some years you'd see him running a tournament on the Mount Pearl Soccer Executive, as well as participating somehow with the Newfoundland and Labrador Soccer Association. Dave will be recognized, and I'm not trying to steal anything from community services. I'm saying this for a reason. No, I have a reason for saying this to Councillor Tessier, because on October 19th, the Mount Pearl Soccer Hall of Fame will induct, I believe it's 6 people, including Dave LeGros. And as well, administrators, you know them all, Mike Mooney, Walt Maven, Dave LeGros, of course, as well as Paul Miller. And for example, this past weekend at the Challenge Cup, which was hosted by Mount Pearl Soccer, and we got to give them lots of credit, it was a great event. Mike was the tournament convener. Paul was in charge of parking and security. Dave was the Newfoundland Labrador Soccer Association rep. And who am I missing? Walt Maven was the coach of the Mount Pearl Challenge Cup team. Unfortunately, they lost on Friday night, but it was quite the tournament. And in addition to them, Ed Moyse will be going in as a lifetime member, as well as Andrew Moyse will become, I think, the first male player. The first player to go into the Mount Pearl Soccer Hall of Fame was Raylene Baggs. That was last year. This year it will be Andrew Moyse. And the reason I'm mentioning this is because the night is October 19th. That's the Ice Caps home opener, and you and I will not be going to the Ice Caps that night. But neither will Mike, Walt, Dave, and Paul, because they have season tickets too. Yeah, and again, I want to compliment Mount Pearl Soccer. Did a great job this weekend. The parking situation over at Gushu is evolving. There was a big crowd there, and I got to be frank, it was better, I thought, in terms of traffic management, as well as outflow onto Smallwood Drive, better than it was 3 years ago before we started to make some of the improvements. So if Director Antle would pass that on through to the staff, it's nice to hear that what they're doing, the work they're putting into it is paying off, right, And one little final note, again, soccer-related. Mount Pearl will be hosting one of the MUN games this year. They have secured a weekend from the university. I think it's sometime in early October. So I look forward to that, and hopefully all of council can make an effort to get down and to attend. And Dave's induction into the Newfoundland Labrador Soccer Hall of Fame is November 17th. I'm going, and you're welcome to come with me if you'd like. Well, no, I wouldn't quite say that in an official capacity. Anyway, Your Worship, that's it. Thanks. And, come on.
Well, this is interesting. This is the newest municipal service ever. We're matchmaking now. I know our strategic plan was a constant improvement in municipal services, but this is ridiculous. Councillor Walsh is calling to adjourn, aren't you? We stand adjourned. Thank you very much.